Hello, everybody. All my big dog lovers, how are y'all today? Checking in with the family. Promised I'd come on today and say hello. Give you guys a daily dose of doggy love coming from Storm, my Rottweiler in the distance over there, and the Connie Corso, Rain. And somewhere on the property is a little dog named Missy, who is our alpha. So, a lot of you people who are not necessarily new to the channel are familiar with my dogs and know that I have a 3-year-old Rottweiler who is chewing on something that I don't know exactly what that is. Actually, let's go check and see what that is because caught my eye. Yeah, she's chewing on something over here. Hey, big girl, what do you got, baby? Is that a toy? What is that, baby? Stormy. Is that what I think it is? Baby, Storm. Okay, we're gonna have to get rid of that, baby. That's actually a dead bird. Um, Storm, drop it. Nope, drop it. Drop it. Thank you. Thank you very much. Let's leave that dead bird alone. Appreciate you for dropping that. But we don't need that. Okay, I gotta figure out a way to get this. Ugh. Move. My dog was chewing on a dead bird. Great. Use my old. Oh my gosh. So we have a lot of trees on. Well, not a lot of trees, but there are some trees here, and now it's obviously springtime, and so there's a lot of birds and stuff, and sometimes they fall out of the nest, and so they don't make it, or they run into our glass windows, and um, and so dogs find them. Gosh, I don't want to pick. I don't want to pick this dead bird up with my hand. Uh, Maybe that's okay for now. Sorry for that interruption. Just saw my dog chewing on something from a distance. Like, is that a toy? Nope, that's not for you. It's going into the trash. Turned out to be a dead bird. Okay. So today I wanted to talk about some of the not so great qualities or great things about having a big dog or big dogs. I think I spent a lot of time talking about all the positives and all the love and we all love to give the puppy love. Yes, we do. We love to give puppy love, but it's not all smiles and giggles. Case in point, when your dog is chewing on a bird from the yard, not necessarily the funnest thing. But both of them have their not so great qualities. Again, I love my dogs, wouldn't trade them for the world, but there are a few things that I can live without. I think the number one complaint that I have with my dogs is their butts. These dogs have nasty gas. Nasty gas. Don't you, big girl? You be letting it loose, don't you? You letting it rip. So they kind of take turns. He goes first, she goes second, or she goes first, he goes next, and they tag team just blowing out my bedroom because they both sleep in our bedroom. She sleeps right next to me on this little bed, on a little doggy mat, and they will just blow up the room. And so, pro tip, please have good ventilation in your bedroom if your dogs are sleeping in there with you. Between the carbon dioxide that they're breathing out and carbon monoxide, not carbon monoxide, take that back, I'm sorry. Methane gas that they're producing, you need some good airflow in your bedroom. With these big dogs, I mean little dogs, they're pretty stinky too. My little dog, when she gets to going and she gets to blowing it up, she blows it up. But these big dogs, man, whoo, they will blow out a room. So if you got big dogs or you're aspiring to have big dogs, just know big dogs, big poops, and big farts. So that's probably the first thing that I say is negative about having a big dog. Um, what are you eating now, baby? What are you doing? Are you eating another dead bird? What is going on here? Okay, I need you to not eat dead birds. No, no, no. Let's go find a toy. Come on. I think there may have been some more dead birds out here. Some feathers all over here. So, anyways, second thing I don't necessarily enjoy about having a big dog is, and this is probably my number one dislike about having a big dog, and that's the inconvenience of travel. So when you have big dogs, not everyone's volunteering to watch your dogs while you go on vacation or whatever. So oftentimes it's always a little bit tedious when you're trying to, get coverage so that you can go out of town, or if you want to go visit family that don't like dogs, it can be a challenge. So we do have some family in the area, and that really helps out a lot. And we definitely make sure we try to take care of our family, make sure we pay them. But not every family member is going to be comfortable watching your 130-pound dog and a 110-pound Rottweiler. So it's always, that's true for any pet. You want to make arrangements if you're trying to go out of town or something like that. But I think it's just extra hard when you have, you know, bigger dogs. And, you don't always trust everybody to watch your dogs. So, hey, BG, you said she looks scared. You mean when I was correcting her about the bird? Well, she was being sorrowful because she knows I don't want her to do that. So she kind of gave me that, like, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm not scolding her. She's not getting in trouble. I just didn't want her to eat a dead bird. Um, so she's not scared. But, uh, but yeah, so I think that's probably my biggest, I would say, inconvenience of having a big dog. Again, like I said, this is not a complaint about my dog because I didn't make the decision to get big dogs. It's not a complaint. I'm just letting you know that not everything's gravy. Not everything's happy and positive. Most of my channel, I try to show the positive sides of dogs, especially these big dogs, because they sometimes get a bad rap and people misjudge them, mischaracterize them. So I'm often trying to show the positive side. However, not everything's positive. So I'd say number one, farts, massive farts. So have plenty of ventilation in your house and your bedroom. Number two, I'd say just the inconvenience of having to make arrangements when you're trying to travel, making sure you have a good uh, babysitters, and we don't particularly like kennels very well. We've done it before, but kennels, I mean, people have good intentions and they try to do their best to keep things clean, but oftentimes your dog comes back and they have gunk in their eyes, they have some viral infection in their eyeballs, and it's just, it seems to be always something going on whenever we leave our dogs in kennels. So, but yeah, so I don't particularly like doing the kennel option. I prefer family members coming to the house or have our babysitter cover for us. And she's an amazing person. We love her to pieces, and she's absolutely great for that. She doesn't necessarily stay at our house, but she can come and go and check on them regularly. So we try to build in some sort of system for when we are going out of town and we need coverage. So Bruce Carnelie, is that your dog by any chance? Yeah, these are my two dogs. So if you're new to our channel, this is Storm, my Rottweiler, and this is Rain, my Connie Corso. And I have another little dog running around the house somewhere. She's Missy. So the other thing is negative about owning big dogs, besides the gas, besides the arrangements for when you're going out of town, is for him, the Connie Corso, for he is a slobber machine. Okay, you can see a little bit of slobber on his side right there, and that's from him shaking his head. And that slobber that you see coming off the side of his mouth is getting all on his body. It gets on my Rottweiler. Let me show you what she looks like. You see that shiny on her? That's his slobber. Look at her head. Slobber on her top of her head. He slobbers everybody. And you're like, well, that's not a big deal. You just wipe it off. Yeah, I get it. I get it. We keep towels all over our house to wipe off all the slobber, you know. But here's the thing, slobber gets on not only everyone, but bedding. So if he comes to wake me up in the middle of the night for whatever reason, or while I'm taking a nap, that slobber is all on the bed sheets, bed covers, couches. Most importantly, if you're trying to get dressed to go somewhere nice, oh, it's like playing, I don't know, it's like playing tag around the house. You know, you're just trying your best to avoid oh, there's a little one. She got caught in the sprinklers. There's Missy right there if you don't know who she is. But yeah, so he will tag your clothes with that slobber, and his thing is he doesn't like to just sit there and look at you. He wants to put his whole mouth on you with slobber and all. So again, I'm gonna repeat this over and over just so people don't misinterpret what I'm saying. I'm not complaining about my dogs. Please don't get it twisted. I do love my dogs and I don't mind doing what it takes to have them. I'm just sharing that there's another side to the story besides the the wonderful playtime, the wonderful licks, and the coming home, and all the other videos that I show of all the positive, all the rough play that they do. There's also this there's negatives to it, right? The other thing is, besides what I've already mentioned, is I think making sure that they are daily fed and have water. It sounds basic, and you say, well, you should love the one to feed your. And I do love my dogs. I do love feeding my dogs. I do love taking care of my dogs. But it is a job and a half to make sure that they have food every single day. You've got to be like, no matter what, you're running late for work, doesn't matter. They want to eat. They need to eat. They have to eat, right? So you have to prepare for giving them all their kibble. You've got to scoop them out, make sure that they're not eating each other's food, so everyone gets food and not just one person. It can be a little bit of a challenge. Not to mention you've got to acquire the food, and those bags are what 50, 60 pound bags of food. You've got to lug that food around. We use um, ooh, I'm drawing a blank on the company. Oh my gosh, why? See, this is where I need my wife. If my wife was here, she would have all that completely memorized. What is the food service? Can anybody help me out? It's the food service that drop off the dogs. They do toys and stuff. What is it called? You know what I'm talking about. They drop off the food in big crates. Amazon delivers it, and we put the food in their bowls, and so that can be a chore having the food. The other thing is their water, making sure that they stay hydrated, especially when it's hot like this. You have to make sure they have water, and it's easy for these guys to drink a lot of water, right? These guys will go through a couple gallons in a couple days. So if you're not paying attention, the next thing you know it, they hadn't had water for a couple days, and they're bugging you, and you don't know what's going on. And that's, oh, I gotta get up and I gotta go get that big old thing of water and stick it under the sink and sit there for 4 or 5 minutes to fill up. And then, not complaining, guys, I'm just letting you know that's part of having these big dogs. They drink a lot of water. If you had a little bitty frou-frou dog like our little one over there, you could let a gallon can be hanging out for for days, probably a week before you need to change it out. But these guys, man, they drink tons and tons of water. So especially that Connie Corso, he loves water, drink water. She loves to play in the water. He likes to drink it. So that's a chore. So you got to keep up with that. The other thing is sometimes people coming over to your house, socializing your dog is necessary if you want people to random people like from work or friends come over and you don't want to have any problems. You got to do the work in socializing your dog. I know there's probably some dogs out there, some big dogs out there that naturally are okay with people. But if your dog is not, like she's not, Storm, my Rottweiler, she's not a natural, I love everybody kind of person. She's kind of like, if you're my close family, I'm cool with you. But if you're new, you may get some barks and you may think that you're going to get bit. And that's her demeanor. That's how she comes across. And we are still kind of working on her with socializing and maybe getting some progress with trying to like people. But I don't know how far we're going to get with her. He's a lot better with new people, but he still requires continual socialization. So I have to always continue to take him out, let him meet people. So to keep that going. Otherwise, he just tend to become less and less okay with people that he doesn't know. So that's another thing you have to do. So it takes time to socialize. So if you don't have time to be putting your dog in the latest collar and loading them up in the truck or car, which also requires time and effort. So if you don't want all the hair everywhere and the dirty paws in your on your back seat, you have to buy covers, right? So that's another inconvenience. You have to have make preparations for them to be able to ride in your vehicle. And some people don't care. Some people don't care that there's hair and dog, you know, prints all over their back seats. You know, I care. I want other people to be able to ride in my back seat, so I have to buy the covers. And so that's so every time I ride with them or take them somewhere, I've got to take the cover and put it back there, and yeah, so that's a inconvenience. Not a big deal. I'm not complaining again, but just letting you know there's some other things that you have to think about besides just, hey, look at my cool dog. You know, I paid all this money for, or maybe you didn't pay this money for. Um, there's just a few things that you have to consider. So, get a few more comments here. Chrissy B, beautiful Roddy. Thank you, Chrissy B. I appreciate you. This is Storm. She's our 3-year-old Rottweiler, and she is definitely my baby girl. Appraised. Will they have puppies at any point, like purebred? She's fixed, so Storm is not gonna be having any babies. She's the only one. She will always be the only Storm. No litter from her. He, on the other hand, I talk about him being he's not fixed, so he has the potential to um, be studded out to create babies. And but again, that's a whole different ball game that we haven't quite reached or ready to jump into just yet. So that's we're putting a pin on it, putting a pin in it, but not any plans anytime soon. I can say that. And he's still young. He's a year and a half. We got time to figure that out. But in the meantime, we've kind of left him intact just in case. So Richard Scholier, Scolier, love your videos. Thanks, man. I appreciate you, Richard. We try our best. I'm not a dog trainer, but we've had these dogs for her for 3 years and him for a year and a half. So there's things that we pick up along the way. We try to pass along, but you know, obviously we're not at the level of these famous dog trainers like Caesar Milan and such. But we try our best. I think mainly my goal is just to let you guys see what it's like having big dogs. You know, just what it's like to care for them and the love that they give us, and just want to show that off. Kitty, you're back. Hello, Kitty. How are you? Yes, thank you, Kitty. I'm terrible with promoting my stuff, so please, if you wouldn't mind, and if you mind hitting that button, the like button, and subscribe, I really appreciate you. Thank you for reminding me, Kitty. Awesome. I'm glad you're doing well. I'm trying to be more consistent with connecting with everybody. I've basically been streaming almost every day, just live streaming, coming out in the backyard. I get home from work and just kind of sharing with the fun and love that I get from the dogs in the evenings. So, yeah, it's the weather is a lot nicer in the evenings too, so it's better to film. It's been so hot here in Texas. I think we got to over 100 degrees again today. So, if it's going to be anything like last year, it's going to be a hot one. So, and that kind of goes along with what I was saying earlier about making sure your dogs are hydrated, because with it being so hot, I mean, even that bowl that we have, you probably can't see it from here, but there's a bowl of water that we keep out. So we have water. We have two massive containers inside the house that that they can drink from, and then we keep a water bowl outside. So whether no matter if they're inside or outside, they have access to water. They need to have water. And again, that's a job that we all have to kind of pitch in, and make sure between me, wifey, my daughter, and our dog sitter, we all kind of like keep an eye out, make sure they have water. So I'm not sure why we're at the back of the property. I mean, we're near basically the horse's domain. So there's a horse that lives here somewhere, but we're at the far corner of the property, just kind of chilling out over here. Maybe I can get him to go over there and do something. Oh, there comes a little bit. She's coming. But so Richard is, he says he's a truck driver and he's thinking about having a Rottweiler and considering socializing him or her. Yeah, I think that if you are interested in making sure that your Rottweiler can tolerate anybody, and I've seen many people that have well socialized Rottweilers. I know there's a person at my gym who brings their Rottweiler, and that dog just loves everybody. It's just you just gotta spend the time to socialize them. I There's a story kind of behind her. So when we first brought her home at 4 months, we were doing all the socializing things. We would take her out to dog parks and let her play, let her meet people. So she was doing very well as a puppy. And somewhere about 6-ish months or so, she got parvo. 6 to 8 months, I don't know exactly. I don't remember how old she was, but she got parvo and fully vaccinated. So not because we didn't do our responsible thing. She just got parvo despite being vaccinated. And during that time period, she was obviously quarantined because parvo can live in soil for, a long time. I think over a year, I believe. And so you don't want to spread that viral particles to new puppies. So, so she was basically quarantined for a very long time. And then after we kept her in so long, it was like we didn't make a concerted effort to try to reintroduce her to everybody. We just kind of like, I guess we were shell shocked or something, and so we just kept her at home. And so by the time we did start taking her back out, she was kind of like, nope, not having that. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna stick with me and mine. So just a cautionary tale that if you do want to have a Rottweiler, or if you do want to have a dog that's not necessarily naturally cool with everybody, keep it up, because if you stop, sometimes they can kind of regress and not really tolerate people like our dog did. So somebody's talking about Cicero. He's being a little bit punchy. So I don't really use profanity when I do my videos. So I'm not even gonna read your comment, my friend there. Yeah, your dogs do need water, but we'll we'll not get into the profanity stuff. Thank you for the insight. Yeah, no problem, Richard. If I can help out any kind of way, um, I'll do my best. And where is Alpha Female? She's right there. She's in the back, moseying around. We're all kind of we're all being kind of lazy at the back of the property. Oh, what are you scratching for, big boy? Did that grass get you? Did that grass get you, big boy? Oh, oh, that feels good, doesn't it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that feels good. There are a lot of mosquitoes right now. I hope he's not being bit. So I took him to their vet. Oh, that's another thing. So obviously okay, okay. I didn't know. I didn't. Thank you, Cicero. I appreciate you for letting me know. You were just kidding. I try to keep it classy. We're all adults. I'm not gonna criticize you for saying anything. I just I got a daughter, and so I'm pretty old school with that kind of stuff. If we were just hanging out, me and you, bro, let's go at it. We'll say whatever. I just try to keep it a little classy, if you know what I mean. So, but thank you for letting me know that you were just joking around. So, Luke, you were asking me how old they are. So he's a year and a half, she's 3, and then she is 11/12 years old, 11 and a half years old, the little one. So yeah, we've had dogs for a while. My wife has owned dogs since she was in high school, and she's our researcher. I like to watch, behavior videos. I think one, I don't know if this is a real negative, but I will say this: when you're getting dogs that you're not familiar with, you do need to take the time to kind of learn as much as you can before you get them. And so before we got our Rottweiler, we watched countless hours of Rottweiler videos, and not everyone's correct. So you kind of you'll get a gestalt of what you should do, how you should treat them, and how they need to live and what they need to thrive. So that can be time consuming. So if you want to consider that a negative, you can. You can say, well, I just want to buy a dog and just let her play at the house and just chill. I think it's kind of upon you to kind of do a little research, learn from some top names, some of those people that have proven track records, and I think it just makes it builds your confidence up because you don't really want to kind of go from zero to big dogs like this and not have any kind of confidence because if you kind of come in correct, you can kind of they can get what is the word I'm looking for maladjusted. So you want to come correct. You want to understand what it is to be the alpha human. Understand how to help them keep themselves out of trouble. If that makes sense. So that requires work. So if you consider that a negative, I'd say yeah, that's a negative. You do have to put in the time, and it's always a good idea to kind of stay plugged in with other people. So I'm pretty lucky. My coworker, shout out to Ozzy the Connie Corso. If you hadn't visited their channel, please do. They are much bigger than we are, and we are aspiring to be like them. But she is a wonderful resource for me, and we're constantly talking about our dogs, and because sometimes you're unsure about, hey, am I doing the right thing or not? And it's nice to have somebody that can kind of talk with you, and say, yeah, yeah, that's fine, or maybe you want to try it a different way, so that helps out. So Richard says, can you tell him what you appreciate the most from a male and female dog? That's a good question. I think for a male and female combination, I think what do I appreciate about it? Well, I do appreciate that I don't have two males competing for alpha and competing for you know rights to the chicks. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not sure every male combination will end up in a competition for who's going to be the main the main man of the house. But in my situation, there's really no fighting between, he's kind of the only male in the house. And so now it does come with some weird stuff. Okay, now here's another negative about particularly this guy. You hear me all the time talking about his genetics and he's so sweet, he's so awesome, got all those muscles, all that stuff. But this guy here, for some reason, has gotten in the habit of marking inside the house. And I am so thankful that we bought a house that does not have any carpet. But it is definitely inconvenient to come in. You're like, what is that wet spot next to my couch? And he's marked it. And then we buy the spray that neutralizes the urine or whatever, and he tends to just like, go at it again. So it's kind of a job cleaning up his markings. And the reason why he still does it is I can't catch him. He's very, very smart. He knows that he's not supposed to do it, but I don't think he's getting the message that he's not allowed to start when he goes. Do you know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? It's like he knows I'm upset that it's there. I try not to punish him because it's after the fact. You want to punish him as he's lifting that leg up, so he knows. Oh, I can't lift my leg up and do that. So, but he's so keen with it. He does it at the most opportune time that I can't give him that correction in real time. So it's been hard to break that habit. So so that's an inconvenience for me. Thank goodness my other two dogs do not do that. So that is definitely a negative slash inconvenience that have him marking in the house. So I'm just waiting for that magical moment for me to catch him in the act so I can give him that much needed correction. No, sir. And then hopefully that will kind of stop that. So, yeah, here's little Missy. Thanks, Luke. I appreciate you. Um, Luke says that they're beautiful dogs. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, so this is my little alpha male, female, I'm sorry, male. Alpha female Missy. Her nickname is Mr. Meaner Missy. Mr. Meaner Missy. So, hey, I got Kitty in the back of my brain now. So, um, appreciate anyone who stops in. If you wouldn't mind before you leave, just hit me a thumbs up and give me a little bit of love. Give us a little bit of love. We appreciate that before you leave. Thank you so much for even stopping in and checking us out. But if you wouldn't mind, these guys really would appreciate it, right, Rain? Rain loves it when you give him a thumbs up. So thank you so much for that. But yeah, they so this one is we've had her for a very long time. You know, the nice thing about a smaller dog is a lot of the things I was referring to earlier aren't there, right? So people don't mind babysitting your 12-pound, yapper. The food is Kiera, what's going on? Um, Most people don't mind feeding, a few cups of little food for your little thing. Um, a lot easier to go out of town when you have just a small one. Much different when you have a bigger dog. And like I said, most people are real comfortable with smaller dogs when they're taking care of them, but the challenges of a big dog can overwhelm people, and they don't want to necessarily volunteer to babysit your dogs while you're out of town. So, and like I said, she does let some loose. She let it rips too. That little girl, homegirl, she will let it loose. But nothing like these big guys. um, I think Storm and Rain will blow out the entire room with their butts and their gas. Yes. So, so you understand what I'm talking about with the gas? I'm telling you. We keep our bedroom door basically open at night because like I said, between the carbon dioxide that they're breathing out in my room and in that enclosed area and the gas that they let out while they're sleeping or laying down, man, you gotta have some ventilation. Ain't that right, Stormy? Come here. Come here, baby. Tell everybody to make sure they ventilate their bedrooms because they will blow up that room. Get out of that. So, what else can I say that's not necessarily convenient of having a big dog? Well, um, their claws. So we have to keep clipping their nails, and I admit we have not done a great job with Stormy. So let me show you what I mean by that. Stormy, let me have your paw, baby. Have your paw, baby. Okay, let me have your paw. Take a look at that. That is irresponsible. That is bad, bad, bad me, bad owner. Oh man, my poor doggy sitter tried to help us out, but she just will not. She will not cooperate. And so I think at this point we have to kind of do it at the vet. We may have to kind of give her a little sedation and or muzzle her, and then clip her nails or something like that. But yeah, so that is an inconvenience. You have to stay on top of those nails. It's not necessarily great for them to have those long nails like that. But yeah, what else can I say? So there's just a few little things that you have to kind of be aware of. Not everything's happy, not everything's sunshine with big dogs. Some of it is not so great. But, for me, I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it the headache to have beautiful dogs like that love you, that they're just, I don't know, it's just different. Like I said, we had her for many years and we loved having her. She was just, you know, I kind of feel sorry a little bit for her too sometimes, because it's like I remember when it was just us and her, and she was just the world, and then now these big monsters show up. um, and then life kind of changes on her. But we do our best to make a concerted effort to try to keep her happy and love her. And she has to go on her own separate walks, because or we just kind of tag team and walk. I'll hold those two, and then my wife will walk the little one. So, but yeah. And do I have a favorite breed? Hmm. I I don't know that I do have a favorite breed. I mean, I'm cool with all breeds really. I think it's more about this how they treat you, and how much they love it. Like I said, my Rottweiler, she's bonded to me, so there is something there that's I don't dare I say magical. It's there's something there that's really really magical when a dog or a cat has chosen you to be their person. There is a real connection there, and he loves everybody, and I think he's a great dog. I mean, he knows that I'm the person that walks him primarily, or give them most of their food, so he's cool with it, but he's not like her. And so that's I don't know that that's a favorite breed, but her as my dog counterpart, my dog soulmate. I don't know what the word is, but there's just something special. So, but yeah, but even her, I mean, she's just been kind of close to me quite a bit. Yeah. Do you have a favorite breed? You guys have a favorite breed? And also, I've been talking about maybe some of the negatives about having big dogs. If you guys have any stories that y'all want to contribute, um, I'm all ears. But I will say the other negative is you have to be very vigilant in making sure that they're safe. Yeah, I mean, I think people are a little bit lax sometimes with their dogs. I did a live video where I took them on a walk, and people were just people had their dogs off leash, and they were just running around the front yard with no fence. You know, we were walking by one house, and then two little dogs, yapping dogs, came rushing out to the middle of the street and jumped right in front of my dogs. And of course, my dogs reacted. Thank goodness that I had a nice, good leash on them, and I had and they kind of obeyed my commands. But it was not fun because I was wondering if they were going to overreact and maybe even harm, because that's how it happens, right? Oh, your big dog just bit my dog, or it scratched my dog, you owe me this money, whatever. And I'm like, wait a second, we were walking on a public road in our neighborhood. You opened your front door and let your dogs unleashed come directly in front of my dogs. So you know what I mean? So you have to make sure that you do have good control over your dogs. Make sure you have an understanding that, hey, you can be out and about, but there's circumstances where you can't just react. You can't just bite, another dog because they're loose. And so I think we've made it clear to them, and they handled it very very well. I was really proud of them. So that's actually how long ago did I do that live stream? I think that was 2 or 3 weeks ago. So if you guys are want to see that interaction, you might have to fast forward it to it. But it was kind of interesting that I was streaming while it was occurring. So, Kitty, you like pit bulls? Cool. Yeah, there's some pretty dogs. I never owned one. Like I said, Ozzy the Connie Corso, she has three Rottweilers and one pit bull. So I enjoy watching her dog. So it's pretty cool. Richard, that's a good question. He's asking me about whether or not if I would choose a female Rottweiler or a male Rottweiler, and that's a very, very tough question. The So her brother obviously was a male, and he had a very, very different temperament to her. Her brother was very, very sweet, very, very confident, very, very assertive, and another one that just he wasn't bonded as tightly as she was to me, but he was just a phenomenal guy. I mean, I really honestly don't need to talk too much about that because my heart is still broken, and it has been almost 2 years now. and my heart is literally broken, very, very, very broken over the fact that we lost him. But he was just an absolute. I mean, people always tease Storm about having a smaller head, but he had that Rottweiler head. He had that Rottweiler temperament. He wasn't big, and she likes to run. This girl here, you would have thought that she was like a Doberman or something, or I don't know, just anything but a Rottweiler because she likes to run so much. And so, and I have some couple videos where I have this trike with a harness, and I still use it. She broke one arm of it, so I had to kind of put it to the side. But what I liked about it was they could work, they could pull me while I'm on the trike, and they can go as fast as they want or slow as they want, pretty much. And so she loved it. He was okay with it, but he wasn't much of a runner. So we had to kind of split the difference with that. So, but no, I appreciate you, Richard. For that was I lost literally lost a son that day. That was tough, man. So, Kitty, yeah, you definitely have to be in a position to be ready for a big dog, or I don't know if you're in for maybe a pit bull is what you're saying. Yeah, if you couldn't mind, if you don't mind just waiting till you have everything in place where you're ready for, because you don't want to be too soon, or and then you don't have the proper safety things in place and the pit bull gets out, or you don't have time to train him appropriately. It could be more of a problem. So I applaud you for kind of just waiting till you can get into better circumstances for whatever reason. It sounds like you work nights and things. Yeah, so you have a lot of things going on. It worked out where we have enough time, and where we don't have the time, we've kind of had to bridge that gap by hiring a pet sitter, and so between the pet sitter and us, we are pretty much covered for taking care of them. And like I said, my one of the first things I did when we moved to this house was I started with a temporary fence. So I basically put some cattle panel up and some T-posts, and I just day one put in a little area for them to kind of come to the backyard while I was building my fence on the outside, or having it built rather. I didn't do it myself, but my whole entire yard is fenced in, so they can't get out. And luckily, although they have very, very well, he can jump really high. She doesn't really jump. Even I think if he really, really, really wanted to, I think he could probably clear. Not sure what that was all. Hey, what did you do to? Hey, what would you do? What did you do to her, man? Chill, chill. I don't know what you did to her, but she didn't like that. I think she was a little more serious. Did y'all see that? Because I'm not sure if that was play or not. I kind of was looking up when she did it. Hey, Rain, you might want to chill, bro. Rain, chill. She's telling you, she's like, hey, here, let's go find a toy. Come on, let's go. Yeah, that I didn't really like that. So come here, come on, let's go find a toy. So a lot of times they're playing, but that felt a little bit more serious. Rain, cut it out, buddy. She's kind of giving you some signs. You need to stop. All right, let's find a toy. But yeah, so I forgot, where was I at? What was I talking? He gets this guy. He's got tons of energy. Okay, well, I'm cool if they direct all that energy towards a toy, but yeah, I think she was getting mad. I like I said, I was looking in the air when it first happened, so I didn't see what he did. Did anyone catch what he did to her? But yeah, so there's a difference, man. I'm telling you. So when they play rough, you can kind of tell by the sound and maybe even the hackles, not necessarily going up. But every now and then I hear a difference in the way she was reacting to him. Like it sounded pretty serious. So that's why I was like, I better take that seriously, and I stepped in. Um, that's the other thing you want to do. I mean, you want to kind of you spend enough time with your dogs to know them and know whenever it's a serious issue or not. I felt like that was pretty serious. But about how you have helped with the dogs. I think she's getting mad. Kitty, what were you saying on that last one about how you have helped with the dogs? Can you help? Can you explain further what you mean by your last comment, Kitty? Yeah, she's not having it. I may have to stop filming and take him in the house because she's not in the mood right now, and he's in a let's play. She's not having it. Come here, Rain. Let's go find another toy, buddy. So that's not too bad. What I'm hearing, that's kind of their normal play. Yeah, he doesn't want to go chase. Here you go, buddy. Woo! He is just in rare form. Yeah, he's like, I want to play. I appreciate you, Kitty. I try my best to make sure I'm treating them fair and listening to them and make sure they're safe. I've had a lot of criticism, guys. You have no idea how much. Well, you probably do. You probably read some of the comments on my on some of my videos because people think that when they play rough, I've done dedicated videos to try to explain that there is a certain amount of big dogness that you're going to get when they play. You're going to get a certain amount of, and it's not going to be like two little dogs having a little spat, whatever. It's going to be a lot more because they're bigger. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're killing each other, but so you have to have a little bit more tolerance for maybe a little louder, a little more muscle, a little more activity there. But whenever it switches, when that tone switches, and you're like, okay, that's not cool. That's when you step in. Oh, there she went back for that dead bird. Storm, drop it. Thank you, thank you. Yeah. So if y'all didn't see earlier in the stream, Storm was chewing on something, and I was like, what in the world is that? And it's a dead bird, unfortunately. So I've got to when I nope, it's not for you either. Nope, no sir. Back. When I'm done streaming, I'm gonna throw it away so they don't bite on it or bring it in the house. Richard, I'm not entirely sure about whether or not. If you can tell, that may be a question that I can ask when some of my like my breeder or my coworker at work maybe, but I'm not sure. My suspicion is that there is going to be a certain amount that each dog is going to be able to tolerate being um, socialized. Like there's some dogs I'm sure that's going to be like, you know what, I'm just not going to do people. And then there's going to be some dogs that are like, yeah, I wouldn't have done people, but since you socialize me, I'm cool. So, but I'm not sure what the answer is if it's like true for all. There he goes over to the hey, leave that dead bird alone. I'm not sure if that's true for all dogs that they can all be socialized and you can know when they're puppies whether or not they're going to be good for that or not. That's a good question. I'll look that up, and if I can find an answer, I'll do it on my next stream. But I do know it requires some effort on most dogs that you do need to, try to take them out to other people, let people touch them, and get them used to it, and definitely start as early as possible, and keep it up if you want them to remain socialized. Case in point, case in point. So Kitty, yeah, I mean, so you listen to these dogs for years, and so you tend to kind of know what sounds like a play growl and what sounds more serious. And with her, that's why I heard it immediately. It made me like something inside me like a ding. That was not that wasn't a play bark. Most of her aggressive growls and stuff, I hear it all the time. Not a big deal, but that one, what I heard earlier, which you guys just saw, that sounded way different. So I kind of like, now could I have misinterpreted it? Maybe, but I don't think so because she kind of was giving vibes that she was serious, like leave me alone. So, But yeah, so that's why it's good to know your dog. And I was alluding to earlier on a lot of my videos, people have been really mean about um, watching them kind of play fight or spar or whatever, and they're like they just make, oh, you're a terrible owner, you don't know what you're doing, get blah, blah. And it's like I don't know whether to delete that or use that as like a teachable moment. Like you guys need to kind of, because the other thing about it is YouTube is definitely an entertainment platform. So I don't do things to make my dogs fight or edge it on, but you see that this is what they normally do. But what you may not see is when I correct them when it gets bad, or if it turns to tries to sound like it's going to go bad. So it could be a little misleading, and I think I had one person try to call me out on that. Oh, it's kind of sketchy the way you cut your video, and I'm like, well, yeah, it's an entertainment platform. I mean, some people don't want to see you correcting your dog for an hour on your YouTube channel. They rather see the kind of the fun stuff. So, but there's more to it than just you know the rough play that I show on YouTube. That's why I'm doing the long form videos to give you the rest of the story. Yeah, I agree with you, Kitty. Play bow is definitely a good positive sign, but I wasn't seeing that with Storm. She was not. She was kind of like, leave me alone. So, Kitty, think I'm gonna. You brought it up earlier, and I'm gonna mention it again. So, guys, I really appreciate everyone from coming and stopping in and watching us. If you would just do me a solid, give me a thumbs up. Carl's in the house. What's going on, Carl? How you doing, mate? Yeah, man, nice to see you again. So if you can, I really would appreciate just give me a little bit of give us a little bit of thumbs up. We appreciate you so much. We could use that. Awesome. I'm glad you're great. So Carl, to catch you up on what the stream was about, I've spent most of it talking about some of the negatives of owning bigger dogs because we talk a lot about the happy, positive, and how beautiful, wonderful. I just thought I'd take a little time to kind of share. Okay, what's the rest of the story here? There's got to be a catch to this, right? So I've been spending a little bit of my time talking about the what's the catch here, right? Like, what are you in for when you do get the big dogs? So, yeah, guys, and it's for us. It's 8:22. I got to be at work early tomorrow, and so if you guys have any pressing questions or comments, let me know now. Or if you don't mind, if you type me a message after when I upload the stream, and we can kind of communicate, and that helps me out a lot too, because we do the live streams, but sometimes people don't watch them after you've uploaded them. Which it's okay. I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I really enjoy showing the dogs and having the discussions, but it does help to have a little bit of traffic. So uh, so there's a few more questions coming through real quick. So Kitty. So my wife, if you case in point, if you will look at my previous stream, my wife kind of talks about what we how she, because she does mostly all the food stuff. The short end of the story is basically high protein kibble, and I'm eventually going to start putting in some more whole food vegetables. And see, she's still not in the mood. I'm not sure. She may be having a little bit of pain or something. I'm not sure what's going on, but I might have to take her in a minute and kind of figure out what's going on with her. But he's like, he's on level 10 right now, and she's not really happy about it. But yeah, so if you wouldn't mind kind of going and checking out that video, and at the beginning of it, my wife kind of goes through what we feed them and how we feed them, and that maybe that will cover that, because I'm a little bit somewhat ignorant to what my wife orders for them. But like I said, my goal in the future, again, I wish I was retired, man. I would make my own kibble. I watched a guy on YouTube do a whole video on how to make kibble, and I would think that would be so much healthier for my dogs if I could just do um, to do my own kibble. Oh yeah, kitty and raw for sure. I would like to put some. Oh, Jenkins, he finally shows up. Yay! What's going on, Jenkins, man? No worries, man. Um, if you wouldn't mind catching it on the when I upload it, it probably won't get uploaded till tomorrow. But um, but yeah, so Kitty, back to what you were saying. I would love to throw in some organ meats in there with some maybe carrots, sweet potato. Like I really want. No, don't worry about it, Jenkins. I'll probably be back if not tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Thursday, maybe Friday, and if not, then probably definitely Saturday and Sunday. I'll probably be streaming early that morning because I like to come out in the morning where it's cool, and the dogs are kind of more active. So don't worry, I'll be back. We'll be back for more. But for going back to Kitty, yes, I think raw diet would be kind of cool too, to put in some food, something that's a little more than just that dry kibble. I mean, I'm very appreciative to science, and I'm very appreciative not the brand. I'm talking about people who have figured out all the nutrients that dogs need and putting it in a kibble form. I think that's what got us to where we are today. But I also think that it's very processed, and I think that having more whole foods. I mean, the same for me too, man. Like I really started to change my diet to more of a whole food, less processed, foods. So that's got to be the same for dogs. So hopefully that answers your questions for now. But again, please check out our stream that we did. I guess it was yesterday that we did it. Check that out, and my wife kind of goes into a little more detail on what we feed them. So yes, Jenkins, I will see you tomorrow, man. Thanks again for coming. Again, I appreciate all y'all. If you could give me a little bit of thumbs up, I really appreciate that. Give me a little bit of love. Thank you, Kitty. I appreciate you for your thumbs up. I know we've had several people show up and only got 3 thumbs up, so okay. All right. Well, we'll get you next time. All right, y'all have a wonderful night. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate your comments. We will see y'all next time.